when I started in this business, we could walk into a store, we could walk into a nightclub, we could walk into a church, we could walk into any place, any environment, and see someone with talent and say, that person's got talent, I'm going to work with them. And I'd have a whole team behind me of a good 100 people from different departments, from marketing to promotions to publicity to image consulting. All of these things were in the artist development department. And we would put all those resources and take an artist from just being a talent and turn them into a sellable commodity. Because there's a very big difference. Just because you can sing doesn't mean that you are a sellable product. That doesn't exist anymore. And partly because of, one, how we make money from selling records has diminished. And that's our fault as record companies. When the digital age was coming on us, nobody thought it was going to do anything. So no one paid it any real attention when Napster first came. In fact, especially when we were winning all these lawsuits against Napster. But no one saw the writing on the wall that this was going to become the future, component of how we sell music to the consumer. And bootlegging, hurt us a lot. But, I think personally what the biggest issue is the introduction of the production deal. And what that is you go to a guy like Timberland, for example. And Timberland would say to, let's say, a Jeff at Sony, say, look, forget about signing this one artist. Forget about that. I'm a producer. I'm going to bring you my whole crew. I got 9 artists. I produced them. I put the projects together already. They dance. They do everything. I did everything. Just sign me as a producer and give my company a glorified artist deal for my 9 artists. Right. So now you've got a production deal, which evolved into an imprint deal. They're actually two different things. They're similar, but they're not the same. Right. A production deal is a regular frontline artist deal for a production company. An imprint deal means you are a full service record company. And unfortunately, when you do deals like that, the expectation from the distributor is that I don't have to do any work because you brought me a completed package. All I got to do is put it out and maybe add a couple of support resources to it. Well, by doing that, and they were giving out incredible amounts of money for these deals. I remember when Puff got his deal at Bad Boy, he went to, Puff is a genius. He went to BMG, and when he met with Clive Davis, he was like, give me a deal. And they were like, why? Why should we give you a deal? And he had a bag of records with him, right? And he sat down at the table and threw all the records on the table. He said, you see that one? Double platinum. You see that one? Triple platinum. You see that one? Platinum. You see that one? Gold. See that one? 6 million. Look who the executive producer of all those records are. Give me a deal. Got $12 million that day. Took me like 16 hours to negotiate that deal. And at that time, this just seemed to be the thing to do. So every record label said, well, we don't need this department anymore because they're doing the artist development for us now. So I can fire all these people. I can get rid of that. All I need now is a product manager, just somebody who's going to go out and make sure that the retail department works this in retail. So there's many different layers to how this works. So with that happening, it kind of killed the ability for a record company to develop artists, And then the other mistake that happened is because we didn't pay attention to the digital sales component, we did things like, I call it the Jermaine Dupri syndrome personally, where he would take an artist like Youngbloods, have a dope out, actually I take that back, he have a dope single, super hot, one record, and the rest of the album just be trash. You can't, but in order to get that out, that one single that you do like, you had to buy the whole album. You couldn't get around it. They wouldn't even release it as a single. They just do a video out. So now you can see this video, you love this record, but you can't get it. The only way to get it is to buy the album. They sold 1 million albums that year, but they really didn't have a follow-up single. They didn't need one at the time. So people start, when you start cutting those kind of corners, you're backing the consumer into a wall. So when Napster came along, and it empowered the consumer, now you have a situation on your hands, and it's too far gone that you can't recover. And that's the number one reasons why things are the way they are right now. Because now a record company says, okay, I don't make enough money selling records on you, But you guys are going out, you're touring, you're getting these endorsement deals, you're doing all these things. I need to eat off of that because you can't pay me back. So they introduced the 360 deal. Said, and now I want 360 degrees of your career. I have to get a percentage of it in order for you to repay all of the money that I've invested in your career. So now that puts you in a bad situation because now you 40, depending on what you negotiate, 40% of your show money's going to the record company. 75% of your publishing is going to the record company. And the endorsement deal, 40%, 50%, sometimes 60, 70% of your endorsement deal is going to the record company. Now it's much harder for you to make money. Now you got to work 10 times as hard to make any real profit. And this is why a lot of artists that you see that you might say this artist is big or doing well is broke. On the other side, and the other thing is the other problem is their camps. They hire their homeboys who aren't businessmen. You get a guy that gets a record deal and he gets a $50,000 advance and he spends $45,000 of it on a Benz. And you can't, once you drive it off the lot, it depreciates like $12,000. So that means you bought the car, $45,000, right? And you drove off. Just as soon as the front wheels touch the street, and let's say you change your mind, be like, I don't want it no more. And be like, all right, we'll give you 30 back, 29, 28 back. It already depreciated because it touched the street.